Please go ahead, sir. We are live.
Welcome such an eminent panel today. It is very rare that we have woman power in full strength, and today's session is all about women power. Women are our country's biggest strength. If you go through the ancient India, you will find that women were running in more ways than one this country. Even today, if you look at our traditional system, it's the women who runs the entire community, house, and the environment. They decide the priorities of everything that goes around. In our country, women in professional life has not been given as much prominence as much as they deserve. And there are several reasons we'll discuss going forward. But in the past few years, many women have made significant contribution in the area. And we have some of those wonderful women today on our dais. Before I give the podium to them, I would like to quickly introduce you to these beautiful ladies. First, I would like to introduce Ms. Ritu Berry. Ms. Berry joined this institution of fashion world in the last 20 odd years. She graduated from LSR in 1987. Soon after her graduation, she joined NIFT. One of the prodigies of NIFT's first batch, Ritu launched her own label in 1990, and she never looked back since then. Ritu's work has been celebrated and acknowledged in the elite world of high fashion. She has many firsts to her credit. Let's all welcome Ms. Ritu Berry on the panel. Thank you, Rituji, for joining us this afternoon. Then we have Dr. Blossom Kocha with over 35 years of experience. She is the pioneer in the aromatherapy and the chairperson of Blossom Kocha Group of companies. She is the co-chairperson for Beauty and Wellness Sector Skill Council. Dr. Kocha has been bestowed with many awards, and she is currently working with the Delhi government for their entrepreneurship program. Welcome, Dr. Kocha, on this panel. We also have today Ms. Seema Jindal Jajodia, founder of Nourish Organic, a company working in the health and wellness space. It is focused on providing easy and ready-to-eat, truly healthy solutions for busy, on-the-go urban consumers. The importance of going preservative-free and chemical-free is higher than ever before. All these, along with her love for cooking, led to the birth of Nourish Organics. Welcome, Ms. Seema ji, on this panel. I just want to say a few words before I kind of leave the audience with you. The Honorable Prime Minister's clarion call of local for vocal, Atmanirbhar Bharat, is indeed the need of the hour. From creating strong domestic brands, thereby ramping up manufacturing and employment, to reduce the outflow of royalty, to controlling the footprints of foreign products and illicit trade, it is indeed something close, if not panacea itself, for a host of challenges that India faces on a regular basis. It is in absolute term that India has 48.04% female population compared to 51.96% male population. Common sense tells us that it is critical for national objectives to have active and robust participation of women, as only then can development be both inclusive as well as far-reaching. I have always said that the only thing that acts as an impediment in the way of a woman achieving true success is the societal mindset. But that too is reducing by the day, and once this dissipates, sky is indeed the limit. Increasingly, women are shattering the glass ceilings and emerging victorious in their endeavors. If we look at the wide spectrum of women entrepreneurs, there is hardly any profession that does not have them at a leadership or impactful position. They are pilots. In fact, India has one of the highest number of female commercial pilots in the world. They are CEOs, startup queens. The most recent example is Shivarti Bajaj, co-founder of Gurugram-based Box Engage, which has emerged as India's alternative to TikTok. Their web-based content platform grew 10 times just a day after government announced a ban on 59 Chinese applications. And then there is Disha Singh, founder of Mumbai-based D2C startup Zook, which is a vegan brand for valets, bags, and accessories. It provides employment to artisans and workers in one of the world's largest slum, Dharavi, and is presenting Indian handicrafts at the world stage. There are hundreds and thousands of similar examples that highlight the caliber of enterprising skills of women in India. I have no doubt that it is only with their active engagement in vocal for local Atmanirbhar Bharat that is its true potential will be realized and achieved. We have a stellar representation of successful women entrepreneurs. I can't wait to hear their inspirational and motivational views and opinions on this very important subject of the webinar. I wish you all the very best. Thank you and Jai Hind. And now I would request Ms. Ritu Berry to share her experience. She has the podium for next 15 minutes. I want to also share with our audience that Ms. Berry may have to leave a little early because she had some prior engagement. So over to Ms. Berry. Thank you. She is on mute.
Anu, please unmute her. Anu, please unmute her. Yes, ma'am, you are unmuted. You can carry. Again, it is muted. Now you can carry on, ma'am.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Rajput, for this introduction. I have to say that I'm very, very proud of being a woman. And I think the power that we get as a woman is something that makes us go on and achieve what we dream to. So I come from an army background, and my father was in the army. The main basis of my upbringing was discipline, and everything had to be done punctually, on time, at the right sort of way, with a lot of importance given to integrity. And I have to say that a very strict kind of upbringing helped me look at life with a very different perspective. I would say different because, you know, when I work in this field that I do see that a lot of people have no consideration for other people's time. So the punctuality is never of any importance. But having said that, with that kind of upbringing, I grew up to dream a lot, and my whole existence was because I had this whole concept of wanting to do something that nobody else has done. Now, being a woman or being a man was not important. I have a brother, and my parents brought me up and my brother up with the same sort of morals, with the same education, with the same. I mean, we were never made to feel that you're a girl, so you're not as important as your brother. So it was wonderful to experience that kind of equality. So when you grow up like that, you look at men and women pretty much equally, which as I did. Having said that, I went to a school which was completely, I mean, throughout my life, I was in a convent, and most convents are, you know, girls only. So my education was completely in a girls only school. But in spite of that, I never ever felt there was an inequality of being a woman or a man, or, you know, so something like that never crossed my mind. As a woman, as a designer, once I achieved my level of, you know, I'm a person who challenges myself. So my race is always with me, and I'm tough to please. I'm a perfectionist. So the whole idea is that I should be happy with what I'm doing. So I had a long checklist of what I wanted to do when I become a designer, when I launched my label, where I wanted to go. So my first milestone was, of course, to finish my graduation and then do something that is absolutely out of the box, which is something that has always appealed to me. So after I was announced a designer, because this was 30 years ago, Indian fashion industry is only 30 years old. So I was of the first batch of NIFT, and when I launched myself, it was a real challenge because there was nothing I could look at as my you know, map, or as my inspiration, or as my how I wanted to take my life, because there were no real designers. There was no fashion industry. Everyone was dressing as they liked. We all dressed for basically weddings or for Diwali, for an occasion. Everyday dressing was not that important. So people weren't so concerned about how they looked on a daily basis, which is so different today. So my audience, who I was catering to, was different. And it was not so challenging because most people did not want to be experimental at that time. When I launched my brand, people would come and say, oh, everyone's wearing yellow, so I would like you to make me something in yellow. Nobody wanted to break the mold, break the rules, and be different and prove to be somebody they, you know, that they individually are. So it was very difficult and very easy when I launched myself. It was difficult because there was nothing, there was no map, there was nothing that one could follow, and there was no direction. So here I was, announced a fashion designer. I launched my label, but I really didn't know where I had to go, how I had to go there. So it was difficult on that front. But it was easy because there was nobody else. There was no competition. It was my playground. I could do what I wanted. I could achieve what I wanted, and there was no one to judge me. I mean, how can anyone say this is not the right way of doing it, because I'm doing it my way? And that was fun, and that was great. So I decided that I've launched myself in India, and because there were not many designers, Ritu Berry was a household name and was very well received and was considered one of the top Indian designers. So I decided to challenge myself and do a fashion show in France. I did my first show in Paris way back in 1999, so which is like over 20 years ago. And when I presented my collection in France, I presented India. For me, it was about my uniqueness as an Indian, as a creative from India. So I presented to the discerning Parisian audience an India that they had never seen. So there was this amazing Indian models who are gorgeous, all dressed in Indian fineries, dressed like literally Indian princesses. And the music was Indian. I had the commentary in Hindi. I wanted everyone to see and believe what India is. And not many people were exposed to India back then. They didn't really know what India really stood for. So I was really lucky because they loved what I showed them. They loved the India that I presented. And my story went on, and I presented many shows. I did a lot of shows in Paris. I started working as a head designer for a French fashion brand, Jean-Louis Scherer. And I was really fulfilling all my dreams. But all this, the base of it was being this very strong, very, very convinced, very, unwavering, very focused Indian woman. So I have to say that being a woman was of a great strength to me, because I think we as women have a resilience and we have a power that not many men have, if I may say so. There are men who are strong and powerful and all of that. But the way women can take on tough challenges, tough situations, emotional pressure, I'm not sure so many men can. So, coming back to my life, it's been great. And today I'm a wife and I'm a mother, and I have to say this is the role that I enjoy as a mother, because I'm able to groom my daughter, the woman of today, the woman of the future, because I think kids are the future of our country. So here I am. I've actually got a young life who believes in me and trusts me, and I have this power today to influence her and explain to her the importance of really being a woman and using her strengths to the best of her ability. So, and I really believe, there are a lot of people who say men, they eat teas, men behave so badly. And I just don't understand how men or mothers of these boys have not been able to groom or inculcate in them the importance to respect women. And I teach my daughter today, that it's not only women that you need to look at. They're both incomplete without each other. A man is incomplete without a woman, and I think a woman is incomplete without a man. So you've got to respect and treat each one with equal respect, and be the strength and be the support and try to bring out the best in each other. So on that happy note, I think I'm very empowered to be a woman, but I'm also very happy and blessed to have a man by my side who can help me do what I want to do. So I'm basically a very balanced woman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rituji, sharing your experience. And it is wonderful to listen to you. And I'm sure there are many in the audience who are listening to you, and they will get encouraged and take a leaf from this in building their own career and future. Thank you very much. May I now request Dr. Blossom Kocha to share her experience and advice. Thank you.
So thank you so much, Mr. Rajput, for the wonderful introduction. Ritu, it was wonderful hearing you. It was wonderful hearing your whole story. And I've really got a wonderful panel, in fact, that is here. And now I'd like to tell you about how I started. I started about 5 years ago, but before that, I, of course, had this passion all along to go into the beauty and wellness industry. And in fact, right in school and college, I used to keep doing, these little things of picking a person's hair up and telling them to look after their skin and other things. And when I finished my college, I asked my parents that I would like to go into this line, but they wouldn't believe it. They just wouldn't agree that I had to go into this line. And so when I got married to an army officer, and he was very, very supportive, really. And he said that you want to go into beauty, definitely you can go into beauty, because I'd already studied beauty also when I went abroad. So he was posted in staff college, and that is where I really started my beauty career. It was, they offered me a little place, a small little room in the club, and told me that I could start my beauty salon if I wanted. So actually, I started with the army, and I remember doing the whole thing. And then I had to make these creams for them, because at the time I started, there was nobody into any kind of course, Shanaz was there, but we did not have other creams for a facial or for hair or for anything. So the only thing that was available was a Charmis and was a Pond's cream. And definitely I didn't know what was in the cream. I didn't know what to use in that cream. So I didn't go into that at all. So then now in the Nilgiris, Wellington, where we started, the staff college is there, the oils that were there, they had a whole array of essential oils. There was eucalyptus and there was lavender and there was, lemon verbena. We had so many oils. So what happened was I started making creams for each of my clients that came through. It was very, very personalized. And I used to use these oils with it. And these oils really, the clients came back to me and said, I had a cold, but after using this, my cold disappeared. And then the other would come and say, my headache is feeling better, and I was feeling better. So that encouraged me to start with this. Now, I had no idea. Then I met up with a wonderful Ayurvedic doctor. And he is the one who showed me the books and things where aromatherapy, in fact, was very, very Indian. It comes from the Vedas, aromatherapy, and it is there in the Rasayana Tantra. So we studied this Rasayana Tantra, which is the Veda of rejuvenation. The other Veda that you will find aromatherapy very much in is the Vajikaran Tantra, that is the Veda of aphrodisiacs. So I study the Veda of rejuvenation. And there is where I found these oils that are used by a whole lot of people. They didn't know they were using aromatherapy, and it's been going right through the ages. So that is where I had studied Ayurvedic aromatherapy. So when I did this, and then he was moved to Delhi, and I started this salon in Delhi. So I have already done beauty, hair, and wellness. That was spa, the body also. And I had these cosmetics to complement them. And I found that aromatherapy is a very holistic form of beauty. It works on your body. So it works on all the dark circles and everything else. It works on the mind. If you're depressed, if you're feeling too hyper, if you're not thinking, and it also worked on any stress-related ailments. Like it was excellent for all these hormonal ailments. It was excellent for any aches and pains, like if you have any aches and pains. It also helped headaches. So it was an excellent thing. So it was very holistic. And since I always used to believe that, beauty is nothing just skin deep. It has to come. It is a body, mind, emotion. It is very holistic. So nothing was better than using aromatherapy. And honestly, nothing was better than using the Ayurvedic aromatherapy, because I found that you can get them, most of them came from India. And of course, but some of them, when I first started, had to be got from abroad, like lavender came from France and the others. But right now, what is it? The wonderful thing that is happening to India is that these oils are being cultivated now. They've been taken, I must say thank you to the government. They are being cultivated, and we have lavender coming from Kashmir. We have every oil coming from right from Kanyakumari right up to the Himalayas, we have these oils and they are exported elsewhere. So it is really something that is wonderful. And the challenge before was that we had this problem, but now we can really get them anywhere. So I had started with this, but then I couldn't start my factory right then because my husband was in the army. So then when he left the army, he left earlier and he joined me. And I must say thank you to my husband that we have started again. We started the factory and there was this aromatherapy. Now, when I started the factory again, I had to see that everything had to be natural because aromatherapy does not work with anything that is, that is any chemical, because those chemicals will mess up with the natural chemicals. So we had to use all vegetable oils and vegetable waxes and everything. It was a challenge, yes, I must say, but we overcame that, and it has really grown and become really, really good. Of course, the other challenge that there is that we had to really, train people, and that is how education came in. Education is something I've always been very much with, and training them all over the country and putting them up. It has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. So training them, of course, the beauty salons. Now, when the beauty salons we had started, I discovered another thing that we are using so many chemicals for hair, for beauty. There's so much of noise pollution. There's such a lot. So the environment had to be looked after. So we had gone into these green salons, which, where there's less noise pollution, where we are using the LED lights, not taking up so much of current. We're using cosmetics that are free of chemicals. We're using the whole thing. So it became a big span of, everything. It grew, it kept growing like that. But I must say, being a woman is really, really helped. And this is one of my things. Being a woman, I feel it should empower all the women. And every woman needs to be empowered. And the best thing I found for empowering women is skilling. Skill them, make them, skill them and make them entrepreneurs, because they can be entrepreneurs. And in this beauty profession, I really find that we can really make them entrepreneurs. Like I started from a little small place. They can start from anywhere. They don't need to be in a town. They can be in the villages. And like I've gone all over the country educating them, and I find they can do that. And now in this COVID time, what I found is instead of getting places and doing it, they can go into this corporate kind of a stuff where there is a big room, all of them can share, they could come in for their appointments. So it is something that is easy for them and empowering them. When you empower a woman, you give her something. You also help the GDP of the country because she is also getting the money to provide. So it is a wonderful thing. And I must say, I'm so thankful to be a woman. And I'm so thankful for my family, because that, I believe, is something very important, to take your family with you. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Dr. Blossom Kocha, for sharing with us such an inspiring journey. It is really very motivational for everybody who's listening to you as to how you can build an empire from such a humble beginning, and especially, it is purely driven by your own interest in this space and how knowledge and skill can be gathered going forward, and then thereafter share that experience and knowledge with the many people in the country for them to actually take leaf out of this. Thank you very much, and really appreciative of your sparing your valuable time and coming and discussing all this with our audience. Now I will move to Ms. Seema Jindal. She actually needs no introduction, and she's also done a commendable work in the area that she's working. Now I'll leave this podium to her to share her experience with the audience. Over to you, Seema ji.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rajput, and thank you for inviting me to be on the panel with the lovely Blossom Kocha and Ritu. And I must say that since Ritu's not here, but Blossom ji, I have one of my favorite places to relax is your Hoskas, parlor, and I go with my friend there, and we both get our mani pedis done and just chill, and relax. So it's truly a wonderful place, and I'm really proud that being an Indian woman, you have created, and you've actually, as we are sitting here today, which in this program arranged by ASSOCHAM, I, as a woman, have been really inspired by you and by Ritu, and I think it's really given me a lot of I can do it, that sort of a thing, encouragement. So thank you so much for that. And I'm in the business of making healthy foods, and one of the reasons why I started was that everybody wants to be thin. I wanted to be thin, and I went on these crash diets, and I started losing hair. And I like playing sports, and when I would play tennis, I had no energy. So I just started to search that, maybe I don't have to be a size 0, but I still can control my weight, but not lose my strength and energy. I like being energetic. So, and then while that was going on in my personal life, we had 2 cases of cancer in the family, where, being the daughter-in-law, I was, in touch with the nutritionists, and the nutritionists told me to not give them sugar and give them as much organic food possible. And that really opened my eyes that if somebody who is having cancer, and for them organic food is important, I'm sure it's very important to give organic to even my children and to myself and to my family. So that's when I really started to research. And one of the things, as Dr. Kocher also shared, that one of my first batch of ingredients was all imported. I got it all from Holland, and it was all certified organic, because I really thought that India doesn't have that much organic stuff. There was only Dr. Vandana Shiva who had a Navdanya store, and that too had mainly dals and other things. And my idea was to create, every time I went abroad, I used to buy a lot of breakfast cereals and health bars and trail mixes. So I realized that I'm sure there are more people like me who are looking for this kind of product. And not just organic dals and organic rice and all that. All that is also very important. But I decided to fill that gap in the market, that ready-to-eat organic snacks. Now, one of the things that, I would like to tell all the viewers today, all the entrepreneurs who are maybe aspiring to be entrepreneurs, is that whatever we do, we must fulfill a gap in the market. We have to first identify what is missing. Like Dr. Kocher, when she started, there were no really good skincare products. When I came in, there was no clean label food company. We have massive food companies who are making, things at commercial scales. And I wanted to make a good product, and yet at a commercial scale. So there were a lot of challenges where the two had to be married. Everybody told me that your shelf life will be less if you don't put preservative. But I said, that is my USP. My USP is that we don't have preservative. And so a lot of those were my initial challenges that I wanted to stick to. I took, if somebody gave me anything organic, I took certification from them. And a lot of times that was very challenging. They would not give me certification. Then packaging of these products, everybody would tell me, you're not putting any preservative. I said, no, there's no preservative. So initial years were really difficult because people, the shopkeepers also, and the distributors, they were all used to products coming to them which had 2 years, 3 years shelf life. My products only have a 6-month shelf life. And it was really challenging. We would have to take a lot of material back. But every time I did decide to shut shop because we were losing money and everything, I would get really nice emails, or I would meet somebody and they would say, thank you so much for making such wonderful products, And then I said, maybe I just stay with it and keep working at it, believe in my product. I mean, for all the entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs out there, you have to believe in what you are doing. You have to really, truly believe that you have a great product, and that what you are bringing, once people discover it, they will never leave you. They will stick with you, and they will like what you are giving to them. One of the questions which is posed in this is, which sector would you recommend to the entrepreneurs and all? So where I come from, the food sector, and sometimes I meet people who say, we don't know what to do and all, and or there is so much unemployment in the country and things like that. And I feel there is absolutely no dearth of things that people can do. Even during COVID, I know people who started a completely brand new mask making business. I know so many friends who've started baking at home and selling. So many people in my own colony have started cooking at home and selling. I mean, I think women are more entrepreneurial than even men. And you just have to think, what do my friends need? What do families need? What do people around me need? And just try and match your passion to those needs, and then you have a winner in your hand. So that's one thing. Differences between global and Indian market, markets are same everywhere. You have a discerning customer in America also, and you have a discerning customer in India as well. And the way our shelf space is, and the way online business is increasing now in India, so there's not much difference between global or internationally or in Indian markets. Everybody, in fact, now I would say, because of the internet and because the world is open to us, Indian customer has become very picky. They want good packaging. They want very good product. They want. I think we all now know what is out there. So we want. So don't compromise on things like that. Your packaging has to be great. The way you market it, your story behind has to be fantastic, and why you're doing it, and if there is a social angle to it, that really helps. If there is I'm sure there's so many kids.
Yeah, Seemaji, the slight interference actually. I would like to hear your challenges. The questions that will be posed in the last, as I mentioned.
All right.
What is your personal journey, and what is your challenge in your personal journey?
Sure.
I would like
So
to hear.
in my personal business, one of the main challenges was that I had to, there was no, I didn't have any food industry background. So everything was like, from a small kitchen, I became a big kitchen, which I had to look after. And I learned a lot while being on the job, and trying out products. Sometimes I would bring out products in the market which didn't do well, and then I had to just change the recipes. My strengths were that I created my own recipes, so it's not that I was giving any sort of royalty or any kind of stuff to other people. It was all mine. And I also set up an industry, a factory where we manufacture everything. We employ a lot of women there, and we are my personal challenge was, one of the things that I believed in was that if you have a good product, it will sell. But I didn't know that marketing a product is another game in its own, And now, since about 4 years, my daughter is fully part of my business and she handles the full marketing. And, marketing a product and also manufacturing it is like running two different industries. So I focus on the manufacturing part of it, the development part of it, and my daughter does the entire marketing. So we treat it like two completely different lines. So that initial years, that was a very big challenge for me. The other thing is that I really like that I'm, connected with so many different people, so many farmers who are supplying to us, so many cooperatives that we buy from. There's a women's self-help group which is doing, puffed brown rice for us. And it just inspires me, and I keep going on, developing new products and employing many women in my factory. And yeah, that's where I am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Seemaji, for sharing your journey with us. I'm sure it's going to be very useful to all the participants. I'll now move to Blossom ji to share the challenges she faced during the startup phase of her business.
Oh, I have to unmute. Okay. Now, the challenges that I faced when I started off was that firstly, the oils, of course, I used to get a certain amount of oils were available in India, but otherwise I had to get them from abroad. Now, then we had to test them because we have to see that they are good quality, So that was a challenge because we did not have a testing area in India for testing the oils. The other challenge that I faced was educating the consumers. This was something which was really, really thing. They had no idea of what aromatherapy was, or what was, aromatherapy, or even the cosmetics. And I remember, I must tell you this incident. I opened a small little salon in just opposite the Taj Palace. And over there, I had written aromatherapy salon, bar and salon. So I found all the men coming in because they didn't know aromatherapy bar. They thought it was a bar. So then I had to close that down, and then I had to put aromatherapy hair and beauty salon. So that was the other. So then we had to really start educating. Even Ayurveda was in its very nascent state. So we had to, the main thing was education. That was what I had found, that we had to educate. They didn't know about it. And the sourcing of good quality material and the testing of that material. That was the challenges that I had faced when I started off with this.
Thank you, Dr. Blossom. I'm going to now request Seema ji to kind of, for the audience, say in few words that what would you give a message to women to motivate them to take up entrepreneurial roles?
I think anybody who wants to take a entrepreneurial role, firstly, to tell ourselves that we are women and we are weak will be a very bad start point. So you have to just be an equal as any human being, and just go after what your passion or your dream is, and try and there is a very famous book which is out there in the market. It's called Ikigai. It's a principle. It's a Japanese principle. And that Ikigai means that you need to find what you're good at, what you're passionate about, and what you can be paid for. What are people willing to pay you for? So finding your Ikigai is really important. So once you can, pinpoint your Ikigai, which can be a lot of work, but it's important to do that, because unless you're passionate about what you're doing, and unless it's a need which is getting fulfilled in the market, you will not get paid for it. And if you're not good at it, then also you are, after maybe an initial phase, you're going to give up. So I think it's very important to first find out what your true ikigai is and then go after your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a great message for the audience. Ikigai, a great Japanese book. And I love the book because it has many lessons for people. It's available in India, and whoever has not read, I would strongly recommend that they read this book and find their ikigai. Dr. Kocha, what would you like to give a message to the audience on this?
Okay. I really feel that women can do whatever they want to do, really. But firstly, they have to find something that they, like Seema was saying, that they are passionate about, that they really want to do. That's the first thing. Next thing, I would like them to go in for something a little different that is going to help society. And if they can help society in whatever they want to do, they are going to really be a success. So they should go in for something where they can help society and that they are really passionate about. That was also which Seema said, which I go with her 100%, that is what they can do. And the other thing is they can do, in fact, like I say, they can do anything they want, but they have to have this passion. They have to have this feeling that they want to do something for others, and because it's not very easy. And then they have to skill themselves. Whatever you want to do, skill yourself. And the other thing I'd like to tell anyone is that you'll have to go on educating yourself right through. You cannot stop, because you have to go on with the quality. There has to be quality. There has to be, you have to see that whatever you're going through, you have to give them that quality. You have to give them whatever it is, whether it's in the service business or it is in the production business or in the consumer business. You have to give them what they want. It's not what you want to do, but it's what they want. So take a market survey, what is needed, wherever you, and then go in for that. That's what my advice to them is. And have the passion and that determination to go ahead and do it.
Thank you, Dr. Blossom. Very important message you've given on quality. I think the time, cost, and quality are the major parameters for the success of anything.
Yeah.
As Ritu Berry mentioned in the initial discourse, that for her, because her disciplined life was there, so time was being a disciplined soldier's daughter, she knew the value of time. So what message would you like to give to the audience on how Indian companies have to come up to the global scale on time, cost, and quality parameters?
Quality and okay. Who's it on me? Time, cost, and quality parameters. One thing is to come up to the global scale on the time, and they have to deliver on time. This is very, very important. When we are wanting to give anything to abroad, we have to deliver on time. It is anywhere. Wherever you are, you have to deliver on time. The next thing is the quality. Quality is so important, especially in any profession, in any trade that you do. You have to give that, and that is where we are lacking a little bit, every one of us, where we have to really work on that quality, because quality is most important. Now, for that good quality, we have to have good raw material, quality raw materials, quality testing, quality producing, quality packaging, and then you are going to give them that quality. Now, when it comes to the competitive prices, you have to see, I know abroad, you can, if you give them that quality and you give them everything that is there, and the look, the feel, of the product, they will take it. In India, when we are going to do it for India, we have to see that we also have competitive prices. We have to have competitive prices. And now with this COVID that is there, I know the pricing has to be really competitive to go with everyone. So we'll have to see that our pricing is competitive, our quality is competitive in every aspect, and then we have to go ahead. And timing is important. These are the three main things. If you can get your product out on time, if you can give your good quality, give them competitive pricing, you are made. You are a success. This is what I feel.
What would be your comment on this, Seemaji? You're on mute.
Okay. So, as Blossom said, it's really important to have your discipline, right. It's very important to, when you make a commitment that you will deliver on so and so date, it's very important that you deliver like that, because that's a trend that you set in your team members, in your entire work culture. So if you are disciplined and you deliver things on time, then everybody else also works accordingly. And I think the work culture of, many times people have this chalta hai attitude, then we are setting ourselves up for failure. It's very important to be on time, and very important to keep the quality, very strict quality measures in place. That's one of the things that will be, if it's missing, it will come in the way of your success. Yeah.
There is one question from the audience, which I'm sure you would like to take. Why there is a low success rate for startups in India? Both of you can respond.
So I think those startups who probably don't come up with a very clear idea, or the necessary inputs, and sometimes are half-hearted, don't succeed. But I know so many startups. I know hundreds of startups who have done fantastically well in India, because we have a very huge emerging market. We have a very, very big young market, who are very in for, new kind of things, like there's so many new ventures, like Cred or Milk Basket. There's just so many new entrepreneurs who have started these startups. TriPoint, they're doing fantastically well. So I really feel that if you have the right idea and you have the right knowledge and the right passion behind it, you can make it a success. There's no reason why you should fail.
Yeah,
Blossom.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with Seema there. You have to really want to do it and have the passion for it. And the other thing I find a lot of startups fail is they feel that they can just go ahead and make a whole lot of money. Going into business is not so very easy. There's a lot of hard work and things that go in, and then you're going to be a success. So you must have this idea that you're going in, and you have to have a passion for whatever you're going in. Then you do the skilling, the passion, and go ahead, and you must be ready for a lot of roadblocks, failures, small success failures, and go ahead with it. And if you have the passion, anything that comes in your way, you will overcome that. So this is what I feel is the startups not doing it. They think money comes straight away, but it doesn't. And they have to learn the job that they're going to do. If whatever they want to do, they have to learn all the nitty-gritties of it and then go into it. It will be a success. That is definite.
I completely agree with Dr. Blossom that point is that, for people who are doing it for money, they have to be patient, and I would suggest that they have another stream, either a job or something which parallelly is keeping them funded, and then they keep on working on their passion enough till the thing takes off, and then they can eventually earn from it. But it can take a long time. It can really, brand building can be such a long procedure that you have to be prepared for the long haul.
Thank you very much. So the lesson is perseverance and patience.
Yes.
You have to have both if you want to succeed in any new venture, because it is not easy to build a business. You have to lay very strong foundation to build a beautiful house which will sustain you for a very long time. Thank you very much for very good advice. Going forward, the question that comes to mind that, what is the difference between Indian market and global market? And both of you actually have great knowledge and experience as to how Indian market operates and how global markets operate. And today, we are far more integrated in India than we were many years ago. So what is the difference, and how, Indian entrepreneurs have to be mindful of that, and what steps that they must take while setting up their business and developing their business charter?
Now,
Over to you.
Okay. For the market that you're dealing with abroad, you have to go, they look for quality. You have to have this quality control. And of course, like I had said before, you have to deliver on time. You have to have the quality. But in the market, you have to have the quality. You have to have that sensory feel and touch. I'm talking about my products. So, anything, you have to have that feel and touch. And you have to, that mainly, this is the one. When you come into in the Indian market, it's price conscious. They're very price conscious. Good quality, but at the price that, is much more affordable to them. Whereas abroad, I find that if the quality is very good, they don't mind paying for it. But here, your quality should be good and it has to be price conscious. This, I find, is the biggest difference that there is, the pricing and the quality. So there it is quality, it is very a sensory feel, and should be feel, touch, look, that they are very much into over there. Smell also, it's very much, and here it is very price conscious with good quality. I don't say the quality, but price is the biggest number one thing for India.
One of the things that I have noticed where my product is concerned is that the handling of product is way better abroad. My product requires fair amount of air conditioning, and in the Indian heat, sometimes the distribution networks, the distributors don't have any air conditioning, so my product doesn't like being in the heat, it melts and it loses its freshness. So if I was selling anywhere abroad, especially developed countries, their supply chain management is very, very nice. And I think supply chain management in India definitely could do better. But we are doing well. Yeah. Yes, Blossom.
Yeah, I think you're correct. Absolutely. I love what you've said. It is so true.
Yeah.
I think it's not just for yours. I think it's for everyone's. It's even for us. The supply chain management really has to be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a feeling it's going to change now.
Yes.
With the new thing.
It is already changing.
It is changing. It is definitely changing. And I feel we're really going to go for the better. Much better.
Yes. I like your positivity.
Yeah, it is going to happen. Definitely.
I'm going to ask you another question that, today India is far more integrated. Your consumer is far more discernible than the consumer that you had 20, 30 years back.
Yeah.
He has more information, he has more knowledge, he has options. Before 1991, Indian consumers did not have as many options. So how do you see that Indian companies have to position themselves to ensure that they stand out vis-a-vis the international competition.
How do we stand out?
Yeah.
Of course. Now, we have to, of course, one is, of course, we stand out one with, I really feel we stand out with our quality. One is, of course, they're very well positioned. And I think where media plays a big job, the social media, because now we are on social media, a lot of the advertising on social media. And I feel that is how one of the ways we can stand out. And we have to really, you can say, really see that we, the same thing that I've always said, deliver on time, give good quality. That really is something that is always there. And that's how we stand out. And one is, of course, on social media and on our Indianness. We should stand out. We should make a big thing on our Indianness. Indian is such a wonderful, beautiful country, and everything comes and it is so amazing. So I feel that is really where we are better, we can really make our mark over there, where we stand out with good quality, good packaging, good everything, and Indian. And we have to work on our Indianness, because I think that's what is going to make a big thing. We need to stand out is in everything that we do. When we have our Indian background, it does make a big difference. That's what I feel. Let's ask Seema. What does she say?
Mr. Rajput, and all the audience, I really believe that what Blossom has said just now, I totally agree with that. Our Indianness is a very, very strong point for us. And being women entrepreneurs, I have to give it to Dr. Kocha that, it's her name behind the product, And even though my company is called Nourish Organic, ever since I started putting my signature behind the product, each product has a little note from me and my signature, my sales went up. So, when Blossom is so confident about her product that she calls her company Blossom Kocha, then it just gives a lot of confidence to a customer and to buy her product, because there is a promise of a person behind it, a promise of a woman behind it. And maybe we both are in the field of more feminine kind of products, beauty and health. I really feel that being our own ambassadors is really important, and which Ritu is her own ambassador. Dr. Kocher has got such lovely skin and hair. It's like she's totally her own ambassador. I have to work very hard to stay fit, because I want to be my own brand ambassador, so that people, when they see you, you're talking the talk, you're walking the talk, you're not just claiming something, you are actually living that, so I think that really helps us stand out. Can't hear you. Mr. Rajput, we can't hear you. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I said it is so true what you have said, that we have to use Indian ingredients, Indian systems, and what India has to offer is truly amazing. In any field that you touch, there is something that our ancestors had, and which all going forward we have lost it. How in the Vedas about the beauty and wellness have been written, which Dr. Blossom has been able to cull out and share it with the current generation. And I'm sure there are many such things that are available. If you look at Indian mythology, I mean, it's mythology only, where they tell you that people in those days, how they used to have such long life, and the kind of food that they used to consume was very simple and basic. And all our etc., that we've read in the holy books. So sure, I think our ancient culture has a lot to teach us, which we have lost on the way, and maybe we need to actually go back in the history, sit down, read, and present it back to our current and future generations. Thank you very much. It's a great message, very powerful message, and it goes well with the current desire of vocal for vocal, making India Atmanirbhar Bharat, because many people question this whole concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and I'm sure audience would have a question as to whether this whole desire to be Atmanirbhar Bharat is real or it's imaginary. So I like to seek your comments as to, in your opinion, in the backdrop of India's ancient heritage and culture, and if we have to bring it back to the table, whether it is Ayurveda, whether it is homeopath, whether it is so many other things which are truly Indian. What is your comment on Atmanirbhar Bharat for our products, so that more and more Indians can look at making India self-reliant with Indian products?
Okay. Now to talk on from this thing, I think like we've got, like I was saying, we've got this wonderful culture. So we can use the essential oils that is really going to, do well for this thing to make people well. The Ayurveda is something that is fantastic, and really we have to go into it further, deeper, not just skim it on the top level. It is so good. Ayurveda is so good. It's for your health, it's your way of life, and it's something that we'll have to do, and that could really and export. The other is yoga. Now let me just tell you, like, I am the Beauty and Wellness Sector Skill Council, the chairperson. So you'll find that we export our yoga instructors like to all over the world. They are taking them because they are all learning. So we teach them here and then send them out. So that is also something that is very good, and getting, employment and getting all the thing for India. So Ayurveda should be like that. Ayurveda, yoga is another. Then we have aromatherapy, which is another. So we have so much. Then we have all this like organic food, which I'll leave Seema to talk about, which is so wonderful. And everything grows in India. So really, right from the roots, right up to the manufacture, right up to exporting it, like we can export such a lot of wonderful Indian stuff. We can use Indian stuff, and I feel we really have to go into the roots and learn about that, and we can get into that, and that I think is really going to help us. And of course, go into this and sell it and become more aware. And I think women can get into this really, really well because they believe in it. Like I always say, what you can really have, you have your pharmacy in your kitchen, what you use, what you put on your eat, you can put on your face, and what you put on your face, you can eat. So you have your pharmacy in your kitchen, and they can really make a big use out of this. So this is what I believe, and it's from the wellness side. Now I'll leave it to Seema. She'll talk about the other part, I think.
Thank you so much. So, when you talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, so I think our audiences and our customers have to really realize that, each time they buy an imported cereal box or an imported face cream or something, somewhere they are denying the presence of that worker, who is producing the lavender in Kashmir, or that person who is growing amaranth in Himachal. So we have to see that behind one of our brands, we are employing so many different people are getting job opportunities, or their product is getting sold and getting converted, getting value added, and getting sent in the market. one of the things, having said that, we have to also match up to the quality which some of the, which international companies are giving. Because the customer, after a point, he's going to go for quality. And, even if it's 100% Indian, but, it lacks the quality, they will not support it for a long term. Having very strict quality controls is really important. And one of the things that customers should notice is that when they buy local stuff, they are buying very fresh stuff. When they are buying imported things, it has taken a long time to reach them. So that itself is, where it comes to beauty products or it comes to food products. I mean, I would want my family to have absolutely the freshest of things. So if we can have local, then you're ensuring that you're having something very, very fresh.
Thank you very much. It's a message for the audience. I have another question in the chat box. How do we boost rural entrepreneurs' spirit, especially for the women folks in the country?
Women folks in the country. Okay. Rural entrepreneur. How can you repeat it?
Rural women entrepreneurs in the rural area.
Yeah. So how do we boost them? One thing is, I feel that them, like you can really, there is so much that can be done with these rural that I've been traveling, and one is of course the beauty, and from those beauty they can do, there's hands from our side, like you can have agarbattis, dupe, soap, you can get them into a little cooperate and they can start, manufacturing this, and then getting someone, then they can buy it from outside, because this is wonderful for them to do, and it's a work for them. They can, like, even handicrafts, anything they can. The way to boost them, I feel, is to help them to start their own. And to start their own, maybe they don't want to start it all together, but if you have a room and they could all, like collective, like a cooperate, they come in there, they know they have to meet this, they sit around, and then we help them to sell it and get it known outside into the bigger towns, into the thing, and even export it. So this is the way I feel that they can do it. And the things that they can do is dupe, agarbatti, samagri, soaps, candles, from my side, certain. And I'm sure they can do other things also. They can do handicrafts. They can do, so many other things. They can even do tailoring. So it's a wonderful thing to boost them to become entrepreneurs. And this is like when I educate, like I travel all over India, I go into the rural areas, we do it with beauty. Now with beauty, for them to do their own little salon, no, so we have this little cooperative, and we also have it where they can, make all these things, and then we try to get it sold for them. That I feel is one of the ways to help these rural people to be entrepreneurs. So now we can find out anything else. Seema, she can.
Yeah. So, Mr. Rajput, there are a lot of online portals now which are taking directly from rural women and giving them a platform to sell. So a lot of times, women can have a nice art form, that weaving baskets, or doing Madhubani paintings, or making bags, or weaving something. So they are doing a lot of things, and there are many, including Amazon. They are encouraging these women to sell directly to Amazon, and because there's such a huge network of people who are buying online, that a rural woman who's producing something in Punjab may have a customer in Kerala, and it is so easy to actually purchase through the online portals. So as Dr. Kocher said, there's so many handicrafts like that they can do. There are loans available from banks to start your own enterprise. I think the biggest roadblock is to believe in oneself and to just get out there and get going. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to, like how you had a very supportive husband. I think it's very important if they can find somebody in their families, to support them initially. At that initial phase where you need somebody to say, "It's okay, you can do it, you can do it." That's really important.
And what they need is skilling. Actually, they need to be skilled, not just in their profession, but or about what is available to them, to the banks, how they could sell. They need to be skilled. So that's something that will have to be there. And skilling is something that is important for them. This is what I feel also.
Without skill, they will not be able to go far at all.
Thank you very much for your inspiring words. Now we are coming very close to our session closing. So I'm going to ask both of you, a simple message that you would like to give it to the audience. What will be, if I was to ask you to give a message to the audience, what will be your message to the audience?
One is what I'd like to tell the audience is, like I was saying, look around, buy Indian. So one thing is they have to buy Indian, which is very, very important. Buy from local women entrepreneurs. That is something they should, so that they encourage these entrepreneurs to go on. So buy Indian, buy from local entrepreneurs. Also learn to be an entrepreneur. Just don't learn to work or something like that, but learn how to be an entrepreneur. Have that goal in them. They want to be an entrepreneur. They can be an entrepreneur. Have that kind of thing. And they have to, of course, link, and everything is over here. In fact, the whole market has everything. So the main thing is, of course, we have to vocal for local. I mean, we really have to go ahead and buy from the Indian, not just the Indian women, but buy from India, buy Indian stuff. Don't go in for any foreign stuff. This is what I feel. Of course, go Indian and learn how to be an entrepreneur. This is a very important thing. It's going to help them in their confidence and give them the confidence, make them into happier people, make their home happier when they are also bringing in a certain amount of, money into their family. So that is something I really go for everyone.
So depending on what their income group is, coming from wherever, when I started my business, I'm a textile designing student and an art student. So I had no idea about selling food stuff or, looking at financials and seeing balance sheets and things like that. So I taught myself everything. I learned, I enrolled for classes. One should not be embarrassed at whichever age to attend and learn more. Life is best if we are a student all our lives. We must be open to learning. We must learn whatever, your passion is one thing, but you need skills to also run that business. So, and to manage people. HR is such a huge role that you need to play as an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, you're playing, you're the finance manager, you're your HR, you're everything in one company. And so, but it's not necessary that everybody has the skills for doing everything. So it's really important to teach yourself. It's very important to learn. There is so many online classes. There is Udemy. There's just Khan Chacha. There is just so much out there. And I remember both my children were business. They were doing their BBAs, and I would tell them to teach me from what they were studying. And they would show me their notes, and I would say, wow, this is exactly what I need in my business. So I would say, please, can you teach me? So my daughter and my son, they would suddenly become my teachers and teach me, and I think it's really important to find some people in your society. There has to be some bhaiya, some didi, mama, chacha, somebody who is willing to share some information with you and sit you down and explain to you that this is how you should go about it. And I would be very happy if anybody wrote to me and asked me for some advice. And it feels great to I have had mentors, and I think it's very nice to find a mentor for yourself that who can guide you, but always be open to learning. Always be open to learning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I think there are so many messages for all of us that, you should never lose your childhood, your childlike behavior. Because when you are like a child, you are inquisitive, you ask questions, you don't feel shy. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you keep that in your life as one lesson Seema ji gave, that ask questions, never be shy, because there is learning that is taking place all your life. As long as you live, you learn. So it's a great message. And similarly, Blossom ji also gave many messages to us during the course of the discussion. And I'm sure, it's very difficult to recount all of them. But I'm really grateful to both of you to come spend your valuable time with us, share your learning, and I'm sure it will go a long way in getting many people initiating their entrepreneurial journey going forward, especially the women folks who joined today. So, it is as it is said that you should always remain open in your mind, because open mind only gets you new ideas. Open windows only can get fresh air. So it's a great thing that we've all learned, and I want to thank for coming and joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful.
And Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Let's all root for vocal for local.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a great message Blossom ji gave. It is the consumer who must come forward and begin to adopt Indian products.
Yes,
So it's a great message. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was wonderful. Sangeeta, how do I leave this? It's not going. Contact Sangeeta.